All right. All right, guys, welcome back. It's Wednesday, another episode of Conversations That Convert. So we are going to continue on the conversation train that we started here on Monday. But before we do, I would love to hear any wins, any ahas from this past week so far. So it doesn't have, you didn't have to be on the call, but share with us any conversations that converted for you, any wins that you had in your database, in your business, in your life, where you felt like you had some success. Go ahead and share. They don't have to be earth-shattering either.
I have a little one. I was making calls and, you know, like the usual, are you doing anything in real estate? Be making the small talk. And at the very end, I asked if they had anybody, which I don't feel like I do enough, like ask for referrals. And I've been using that line that you gave me of like thanking them for supporting my business, even though they haven't supported my business yet. It kind of puts them in the mode of feeling like, oh shit, I need to support his business. So I asked, I was like, you know, do you know anybody that is looking or is starting to look or thinking about looking? And he's like, actually, my sister and her husband just got pre-approved and they haven't started yet. They've been trying to find a realtor and they got connected with someone from Veterans United that didn't call her back. So you should give her a call. And I gave her a call and I showed her a house yesterday and we wrote a contract. And, well, we're not under contract yet. We're waiting to hear back, but it happened in 2 days. Like it was pretty quick.
So this is recording and I want you to go back and watch this and you need to remove, like, let me ask you this. You said, I got this little win. There's 7 other people on this call that would say, that's not a little win, bro. That's a big win, bro.
Money. Easy money.
That's a huge win. And it was just simply an awareness and a shift in one little piece of conversation, right? I just posted something to my stories this morning where this guy was saying, you know, the difference between being good and just being absolutely amazing are these small shifts in the way we think, the words we use, the environment that we put ourselves in, and the information that we absorb. And like everybody is expecting to make these massive shifts or these massive changes in their life for these big results. And it's oftentimes a culmination of little shifts, these small words, just what you talked about, right? Putting yourself in an environment where we talk about changing our language or just using something like, hey, as always, I just want to thank you so much for always supporting our business, right? That's a script that we add to every conversation that just comes from gratitude, comes from appreciation, and it plants a psychological seed in the mind of the other person that goes, well, I haven't supported their, like, how do I support their business? I mean, thanks. You're welcome. And they're like, oh, by the way, I should probably, right? So dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's a little something to add to that.
Go for it.
The little shifts in how you say things. Put myself out here a little bit. We watch The Voice in this house. Don't judge me. I know it's 2022. We still watch American Idol too, but you know, whatever.
Hey, listen, we've got Family Survivor Night. I don't even
So
Season 43.
This girl got eliminated, I think it was Monday. And she said, you know, I appreciate the opportunity. I know that I have a lot to work on. And I think it was John Legend, one of the judges. He said, you have a lot to work with. Not a lot to work on. You know, you have a lot to work on, but you also have a lot to work with. And that just like hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, you know, you always focus on, oh, I've got this, and this to improve on, when I've got all these strengths too that I can leverage. And I don't know. I thought that went with what you're saying. That really hit me.
I love it. Huge. Love it. Love it. Write that down. Got a lot to work with. We all bring so much to the table. Right? So much to the table. Jaron the other day, just yesterday, was saying, man, I can't wait to be blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're already there, dude. It's coming. You just got to put it out there. It's going to come. We just manifest what we are. Right? So, and it's, again, putting yourselves in the environment, putting yourself in the conversation and just absorbing and deploying. Absorb and deploy. Love it. Any other wins from this week? Small, big, otherwise. And then I'll share with you one of my fails. Because last call, remember I shared with you, like, if you're not failing every day in some capacity, you're not talking to enough people. right? So like if you finish the day unscathed without a little brush burn on your knee or a little punch to the gut, I'm going to say that you haven't talked to enough people that day. So any other wins before I share with you my little gut punch?
Well, one win that we have for our team is we're getting ready to do our big coat drive event going on. And so right now, so Daisy was making calls on Monday. And so we have agents from 3 or 4 different firms at this point that are going to participate with us. So it's not just a Terrell team, cultivate group thing. We're actually making it bigger. And hopefully by giving them a program to kind of show them, then maybe that will increase our connections with other realtors in addition to helping people. So that's kind of
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Good. Anyone else? So yesterday I was calling through some for sale by owners in the area. One of my targets is setting up appointments with for sale by owners to go through, create connection, rapport, relationship, follow up. And when they're ready to list, they choose me because we brought enough value and didn't make them feel wrong. One of the tools and resources that we have available to us is that we've got access to cash buyer programs. And sometimes those cash buyer offers come in like full market value for these sellers. And even if they don't, you've brought something to the table. They've got something that they could potentially leverage against some of the other interested parties. And even if they don't take that offer, we've already created a little bit of a relationship and value. And so usually most people don't balk at that at all. And so this one guy calls back. He's like, hey, you called, I got your message. What's going on? I said, hey, awesome. You know, we're working with a couple of different clients. One of them is an investor that's looking for nice properties to put in their portfolio, and they're offering really strong offers on these properties. And he's like, well, what do you mean? Like, are they going to be like renting it or flipping it? I said, oftentimes they're holding it on to rent. And he's like, well, my house isn't a rental. I'm not interested. I said, hold on a second. Like, they're offering strong offers. Do you have any offers on your property currently? He's like, I'm not interested in getting lowballed. And I said, but I'm like, they're paying market value for properties in this market. And then he just hung up. And I was like, oh, dang it. So I'm like, oh, all right.
On something like that, do you ever call those people right back when they hang up?
I'm going to call him back, but not right back.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on my.
Okay, so here's the thing. I will tell you right now, being an investor and owning rental property, I probably get 50 robocalls a day. Do you want to sell your house on Jewel? Do you want to sell your house on Millwood? Do you want to sell your house on Hollis? Do you want to sell your house on? I mean, it is a barrage of text messages and calls.
Yeah.
Every single day to my cell phone. So I'm not saying I understand where he's coming from when we reach out. So how can we shape that conversation a little differently?
Yeah. So let's talk about that. I'd love to talk about that, right? Because I didn't even have a chance to isolate and kind of paint the picture.
Right.
Like, because it just reminded me of the conversation that I had with a coach not long ago. And they said, a confused mind takes no action. So a confused mind takes no action. You can think about like when you go to the grocery store right now, like I know that there's some stores where I go to, like Kansas City barbecue store. Like when I'm looking for a new rub for my barbecue, I like to go to the source. And yet there's danger in going to the Kansas City barbecue store because how many different rubs are on the shelf? Like 80. And all of the labels look amazing and different and say anything. But if you have ever made your own rub, it's a combination of like 7 things at a different variation. Like it's paprika, it's garlic, it's salt, it's pepper, it's like blah, blah, blah. And there's 80. And sometimes I sit there going, oh. But then you go to Costco and what do they have on the shelf? Jack Stack. That's it. That's your choice. Jack Stack meat seasoning. Get it. I'm like, great. I'll take a big one. And I go home with that. Right. there's a perfect example of a confused mind makes no choice. And then you go to Costco and they say, here's your best option. Would you like some? Would you like a lot of it? I say, yep. So as we're going through these conversations, as you're meeting with buyers and sellers, I'd like for you to think about how can you become Costco? How can you bring the most value and the clearest choice? How can you take whatever's going on in the market right now currently and isolate it to the Costco value proposition? Highest value, simplest choice. Would you like some? So as we're thinking about this, right? What are some of your thoughts around the conversation that I had? How would you approach, handle, or even circle back with this individual? Let's talk about what the callback could sound like.
I think empathy is a big part of someone that starts off pissed like that. I think that you've got to show empathy to their situation. You understand that they're getting a lot of calls. You understand that, every realtor in town has called them, tried to list his property. I'm not like every other realtor. I don't know necessarily if I have a bunch of key points to illustrate that point or illustrate that fact, but that's what I always try to lead with empathy when I'm dealing with someone that seems peeved from the beginning.
Well, let's just jump in and role play that. So I'll be the guy and you call me back, Tyler.
Hey, Matt, this is Tyler Rasmussen, the eXp Realty. How are you?
Oh, hey, Tyler, what's going on? Didn't we talk last week?
Yeah, man, we spoke a couple days ago. I understand you're a little frustrated. You're probably getting a lot of calls, a lot of inquiries about your property, probably more inquiries from realtors than actual buyers. But I just wanted to reach back out and let you know that, I'm here to help. And I've got buyers that are looking for properties just like you. I understand you're not looking to get lowballed, and that's certainly not what I'm trying to do here. What exactly, what's been your experience so far trying to sell your property?
Well, we just want to make sure we got qualified buyers coming through. Again, we're not looking to give anything away. So,
Totally understand. What's your timeline to move? Do you already have your second property, or or your next property? Or
we're flexible. We wanted to make sure this one was sold, and then we would move on to the next one.
Perfect. Okay. What kind of interest have you had so far?
Just a lot of calls like yours, just people trying to get in, and we're just not interested in that right now.
Okay. Well, hey, I'd love to have my buyer come with me and check out your property. Is there a good time that we can set up an appointment to come view your house?
Well, I mean, you've got an active qualified buyer that's coming through?
Yeah, multiple, but I've got one in mind that specifically I think would be interested in your property.
Sure. Yeah. If you're going to bring the buyer, go ahead and bring him through.
Awesome. Then I'd set an appointment and then try to talk to him while I'm there.
Okay. So this buyer that we're working with is an institutional buyer that isn't going to come through. They don't show with us. They have us send pictures.
That's when I take my wife.
Okay.
Is that slimy? I don't know if that's slimy. I don't know, but
So yeah, I mean, if you have an institutionalized buyer, just say, hey, look, here's the thing. I have a buyer that this property may fit for. Can I go ahead and come by and do a video tour with them from this time to this time? They're located out of state.
Bringing a made up client. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, Tracy, I appreciate that, but we're just not looking. We're not looking to get like lowballed with investors.
So here's the thing. So how about this? From what I understand is, this whole thing has been kind of taxing on you, and your time is super important.
Okay.
So what I would like to do is, how about this? Give me the opportunity for 2 hours on Saturday. If I could have 2 hours of your property on Saturday, I would love to be able to bring as many buyers through that property as possible.
What are you talking? What do you mean 2 hours on Saturday?
So 2 hours.
I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, so 2 hours, and I can guarantee that I will have a ton of traffic, and plus your property will be shown in the multiple listing service. See, what we like to do is we like to go ahead and do a 3-day listing agreement. And let me tell you how this 3-day listing agreement works.
But I'm not looking to list my house. I'm selling it by owner.
Yeah, no. And I totally get that, right? But I'm in the market of prospecting for other buyers. So I always have buyers for listings that I take. So what I'd like to do is just go ahead and do a 3-day listing appointment. Give me the opportunity. I'll shoot a front picture only. I'll have an open house for 2 hours, whatever time you want to tell me. It doesn't have to be Saturday from 2 to 4. It could be Sunday. It could be Monday evening, whenever. Give me 2 hours. I'll make sure that I get a whole bunch of buyers that come through your property. If I don't bring you a good contract that you don't like, then guess what? The listing agreement's expired and we move on. Sound like a plan? So does this work or next?
Yeah, I don't know if I feel comfortable with that. Again, we're just selling it on our own so we can
Okay.
save commission. So I'm not
Oh.
sure, like, how would that even work?
Well,
with
here's the
you?
thing. From the commission aspect of it, if I bring you an offer that's worth it to you, because right now I showed that your house fits in this box, this price box. So depending on what I get, at least wouldn't you like to see the numbers? Because you do want to make good decisions, don't you? And if you don't see the numbers, how do you know if you're making a good decision?
Well, I mean, we feel pretty confident with kind of where we're at. We're getting a lot of calls.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So if you are spending all this time having your house on the market, are you getting any traffic on your property?
Well, we just started like 2 days ago.
So 2 days ago. So
yeah, we
in
haven't
2
even
days-
done a weekend yet. We just started.
Okay. Okay. So in 2 days, how many showings have you had?
We are starting to do showings on Thursday.
On Thursday. So you haven't had any showings yet.
Yeah, because none of us are available until Thursday.
Okay. So on Thursday. So why don't we do this? If you're going to have showings on Thursday, why don't I go ahead and have the house open at the same time? Because then your house is going to be clean. And then we can just have everybody through. If I bring you an offer, great. If you bring a buyer, great. Either way, it could be a win-win for you and a win-win for me.
I mean, I'm
Because
not sure I still understand what you're.
okay. Well, at the
Right.
end of the day, it's a hassle to have your house open, to have it clean, right? I mean, that's a pain. Nobody likes to have to make sure that everything's clean and the dogs are out of the house and all
We
of
keep our
that.
house. We keep our house pretty clean.
Yeah. So if you have an opportunity and you've already made plans to
Mhm.
have the house shown, be on site with me. Let me bring you some more traffic.
Feel free to bring some more traffic, but we're not signing any kind of listings or anything like that.
Okay. And you know what? So here's the thing. All I would need to do is get permission. And
Okay.
right now, in order for me to put it on the multiple listing service, I would just need to make sure that my fee is covered in the event only if I bring you a buyer. If I don't bring you a buyer, well, then guess what? You don't have to pay anything. And wouldn't you rather get that free exposure on your property and it wouldn't cost you any money out of pocket?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I'm interested. I'd probably want to
How
know a
about
little bit more about it. I don't think I'd be ready to do it here right away this weekend.
Okay, well, here's the thing, right? And we're having a phone conversation and you don't know me from Adam.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that I bring value to you. So why don't we just set up a time, give me 10 minutes of your time. I'll meet you in person. And I'll also make sure that you're priced, at a price that you're not leaving money on the table too. And then I'll show you what a 3-day listing program looks like. I'll bring the information by to you, and then you'll have the information to make the decision whether you want to choose to do that or choose not to do that. Fair enough?
I'd be willing to kind of hear you out. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so let's just plan on does tomorrow at 5 o'clock work or does Saturday at 10 o'clock work better for you?
Actually, I mean, I'm anytime after 3:45, I'm pretty open.
3:45?
Yeah.
Okay, so how about 3:45 on Thursday?
Yeah, that works.
So I like the 3-day listing agreement route because usually when you can bring in the traffic and in today's market, if you have a really good listing that's priced well, can't you get it under contract within 3 or 4 days?
We hope so.
Or, or whatever. I mean,
So when you do that 3-day listing agreement, like what are you writing for a full 6% as if it was a normal listing?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
So let's just kind of break down that
bring the buyer,
conversation here real quick, right? So what did Tracy do really well? What are some of the good things that you heard?
Actually, Tyler went first. Let's go ahead and grade Tyler.
I don't even remember Tyler's call. Now I'm thinking about
that's
Tracy's
Tracy.
call. For those of you that remember Tyler's call, what did I don't even remember what you said.
I
Oh,
like
you
trying
came
to
in
just
with a
be
fake
as short
buyer.
and sweet.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
were coming in with fake people. I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, you're probably not gonna want to do that.
Okay, that's fair.
So again, just come with integrity and authenticity. The thing, if you have buyers, awesome. They may not be wanting to come with you. One of the conversations that I have around having buyers that this may be just outside of what their criteria is. And I'm asking for an opportunity to just kind of really quickly walk through to see if possibly the features of this home match the needs of the people that we're working with, even though it may be outside of their criteria. And here's the deal, Mr. Buyer and Seller. Like, I'm only going to come through about 5-10 minutes. I do this for a living. I can look through it really quickly. And I'd rather only take 5 or 10 minutes of your time than waste 30 to 40 minutes with the wrong person. At the end of the day, you probably don't want to have your time wasted. Would you agree? Does that make sense? So like, I don't want to bring my client all the way to you, have you waste 45 minutes or whatever of your time for the wrong person, because you know that sometimes the pictures don't necessarily match what you see. And when I come in after having seen properties with them, I've got a pretty good idea of what they're looking for. And when I come through, like it may work for them and they may consider it even though it's outside of what they asked for. Does that make sense? So really the only thing that you have to risk is 5 or 10 minutes of time instead of 40. And you don't have to sweep the floor, make the bed for me. This is what I do for a living. So like, I'm not going to bring my wife or bring my buddy as a buyer because it just doesn't feel good. Like you can get in the door with integrity. You just have to get better at your scripts.
And the other thing is too, Tyler, is I'm sure you have an agent in your office that's an investor.
I'm buying properties. I've got investors that buy properties and I've got clients that buy properties. So I've got 3 levels of offers available. I've got institutional cash offers available. I can find money. If somebody's willing to go 60 cents on the dollar, I'll find money. I'll buy the house. And then I've got buyers that are looking that it may not fit like their criteria as far as like zip code, but it may be beds and baths and they may be willing to drive 5 minutes further from work to this property if it fits. Right? Like right now they said they want to be 15 minutes from Rockhurst, but if they found the perfect house, it's just 20 minutes. Like what's another 5 minutes? That's like one extra song on the radio. Like when you want to listen to one more song on the way to work, I do.
Your Kansas City traffic's crazy though.
It's not, you just gotta fight it. You just, you know, it's like, what is it? Like 435 and I-35 is like Tony Robbins. It's always working on itself.
Okay, that's a good one.
So Tyler, great job going for it, right? Going for it. And yet you don't have to go that certain direction. So Tracy, what did Tracy do really well on this call here? We got 4 minutes to break this down and then share some ahas and takeaways and tips.
I mean, she was very persistent. You were giving her every objection in the book and she just kept coming at you.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely kept moving forward. Like listened, handled, move forward. Next thing. Now, was I a jerk? Was I mean? Daisy's shaking her head. Yes. I wasn't mean. I wasn't being mean. I just wasn't saying yes.
Right.
I just like what she was saying was like, I wasn't ready to open the door yet. I'm not interested. No, that's not what I'm looking for. No, thank you. Right. Like when you go to JC Penney's and you're walking through and someone's like, hey, can I help you? And you're like, no, thanks. I'm just looking. That person's not like, you're such a bitch. Right. No, they're just like, I'll be here when you're ready. Right. You're not being mean. You're just not ready yet. And when you are, you'll be like, oh, hey, can I have some help? You got to remember, like these individuals are just like that. We're calling them saying, hey, I see your house is for sale. Would you like some help? Can I bring somebody? Can I help you? And they're like, no, you're an agent right now. We're doing it ourselves. No, thanks. I'm just looking at this market by myself. And you're like, well, have you considered this? Can I show you this? Would you like this? And can I bring you this? And they're like, well, I never even knew you could do that. I guess I am. Yes, that would work. But this particular client's like, in their mind, they've got a perception of something. And I didn't do a really good job clarifying and overcoming their perception. I used the word investor for them. So that was whatever that was a trigger for them. So that word was incorrect. And then he asked, what are they flipping it? Are they going to hold it? And I said, yeah, these clients are generally holding it in their portfolio. In their mind, they're like, but I don't live in a rental. Like that's their mindset. Like, and because people, they like think, well, a rental equals discount.
Right.
It's also like pride of ownership.
Say again.
I say it's also probably pride of ownership.
Sure.
And then he's probably like, here's this investor with all this money getting ready to turn my home into a,
And I'm best friends with the neighbors and they'll never forgive me.
Right. Yeah. That was
That-
the nice
so-
neighborhood aspect. Yeah.
There was a little bit of that vibe in the call as well. There was a little bit of that too, right? So, I don't know like exactly how I would have, I'm still formulating how I'm going to have that call again.
So Matt, you really do have a buyer though that's interested in this
Yeah.
house?
Yeah, I've got a
Why not?
cash buyer that wants to pay.
Numbers.
I got a cash buyer that wants to
Yeah.
pay for anything that's nice.
So why not go make an appointment to look at the house? Hey,
You
now
wouldn't
I'm
even let me
calling-
in.
Oh, well, you might have to take Tyler's route then.
But you know what? Handwritten note.
I'm gonna ask if we're gonna have,
No.
I'm gonna text him today and ask, hey, or do you have any open houses coming up? So I'm not wasting your time.
Yeah. So what about, because if your investor accepts pictures, I mean, I understand the pictures that they put up are different from the pictures you would take,
Sure.
but you have a pretty good idea of what the house looks like. and
That's
if you
option
can-
3. Yeah.
If you can run numbers, then just write up an offer and send it over. Because now you have something concrete on paper. All you have to do is sign.
100%. That's option 3. My number one focus is to get the listing.
Okay.
I'm going and remember this, write this down, put it in your journal, put it on your mirror. You cannot build rapport until you get through the door.
Okay.
Cannot build rapport if you can't get to the door.
You cannot build rapport till you get through the door. I know this. Here's my superpower. I know this. You guys all have superpowers too. When I meet somebody in person, we can connect. They can trust me. Over the phone, I'm just a salesperson.
Right.
When they meet me and I ask questions and I come from curiosity and I deploy empathy,
Mhm.
we start to build trust. And when the level of trust exceeds the pain or the thought of listing with an agent, that's when they're going to work with you.
Mhm.
So when the pain of selling it themselves is now greater than the thought of working with an agent, especially an agent that brings them trust and empathy, that's when they sell. That's when they list.
You
Everyone's
said that when you were
doing it.
talking to Tracy, you said, no, we're not allowing showings until Thursday. I haven't had time, or we're not going to be here until then. So that right there was like, oh, you don't even have time to show your property. How are you going to sell it yourself if you don't even have time to show your property?
Right.
And that's a conversation we'll have, but not on this call.
Yeah.
Because so like, that's a logical conversation. But like, I was watching a TikTok. There's this guy that does some really great scripts and role play on TikTok. I listen to quite a bit. And he talks about like that right there. That's a pro level conversation around bedside manner. So there's an emotional intelligence around that conversation that you have to have with them. And that's better in person or on the second conversation. When they're frustrated or when they're pushing back, et cetera, you can ask that question, be like, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know you're looking to sell your house, and every time I'm asking to sell your house, you're not available. Like, what other buyers are missing out because they can only see it that day and you can't show it? Like, if we were able to take that off of your plate and allow you to live your life and do what you do best, like, how much is that worth to you? You could be under contract already, like planning on moving forward to that next thing. I'd love to help you get that. So if there was a way for us to do that where you still received what you were looking for and it made sense, do you want to explore that?
No.
They don't want to be wrong or proved wrong or being told that they're dumb or stupid, right? Like, and like, we've got all the MO. It's how do we deliver? How do we connect? How do we help them self-discover and then choose us to be their agent? That's the dance. That's the dance. And that's what we're learning here on these calls. Ahas, takeaways, what'd you hear today?
Not to
Daisy, not
take
doing
fake
personal
buyers
finance.
to houses.
Hold on, Daisy first and then Tracy.
I said not to take fake buyers to houses.
Yeah, please, guys.
We're just flew out of the top of my head. Okay. I haven't done that yet. It was a knee-jerk reaction.
You were thinking about it.
Tyler, here's the thing, dude, bro, listen, like, this is a safe fail environment. We are on the practice field running plays against the team that we're going to be playing on Sunday. I presented to you a defense. You came at me with an offense, and we sacked you. So it's okay. And now you get to change the play right here, and it didn't cost you a paycheck.
Right.
Right. We're practicing here, so we're not failing on our paychecks. Because the for sale by owner game is a follow-up game, and it's a rapport game. And if you lose trust in any capacity throughout the process, you're done. You're out. You're out.
On the bench.
Yeah, you're benched that week. Yeah, you're on the injured reserve. You may get traded.
Well, and I think the other piece of that too is, okay, you've made the call. Did you mail out a handwritten note to go along with it?
There you go.
Call.
Yeah, so
I may have
there's a
caught
system.
you at a bad time, right? Or right, the follow-up is critical. It's not just a call.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a text looking crazy, like you look right now, going, "Hey, I'm a real person." Little video, hey, I just want to make sure you know that I'm not like everybody else.
Right on. Other ahas, takeaways, wins.
You cannot get rapport until you get through the door.
Cannot truly build rapport until you get through the door.
I think it's also what you said about we have the MO, it's how you choose to deliver it. I think that's what you said. Because I mean, right now, sometimes with like when I'm working with my clients or new people, I'm just like, they frustrate me because it's like, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, and I had this conversation with Mike, my teammate. I said, I need to be more patient with these people and remember, like, I guess, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but basically just choose how to speak to them because they don't want to be told they're wrong. They don't want to be told, and so it's like, we have the MO, it's choosing how we deliver it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
We can't assume they know. We
Yeah.
have to be able to educate.
Right.
Love it. Melissa, Sarah, Jerron, what'd you hear? Jerron's like his license, like the ink's not even dry yet. He's on this call. He's new. Welcome, Jerron. Welcome to Game Changers, buddy.
Welcome to the dark side.
Thank you. Thank you.
What'd you hear? This is your first call, and coming from like like not even in the business. What'd you think of this first scripts and role play call?
I pretty much just got out of it like you really want to overcome the objectives in a way that doesn't insult, their intelligence and provides comfort in them making an informed decision. That's kind of what I got out of it.
Right on. Nice. Sarah, Melissa, what do you think?
I was only half paying attention because I got a text message for a buy and sell, so I jumped on that really fast. I kind of heard like emotion gets you through the door and logic gets you the listing. It's to not have those super logical conversations and digging into them about some of the problems until you're there in front of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
On a future call, we'll go through the 4 quadrants conversation of logic versus emotion and how to use logic and emotion to help people to take action. So that's really, really important. Let me see here. Anything else? So tomorrow, Thursday, for our team meeting, so we're gonna try to also record it and post the team meeting at the hub on the webpage. We're gonna be getting together and having a roundtable conversation around rates, market of the moment, tactics and strategies for buyers, sellers, and with one another as industry professionals on how best to navigate this uncertainty. We're gonna go over MLS figures. We're going to learn how to use the numbers to tell the story so that you're not the one selling the opportunity. Numbers are non-emotional and numbers aren't salesy, right? So understanding how to deliver and interpret those is going to be a key for you to be the trusted economist of choice, real estate expert, and deliverer of simple choices with high value. I appreciate every single one of you. We'll see you tomorrow and Friday.
Thank you.
Take care, y'all.